Thank you so much for taking the time to sit and talk to me about what's going on and what had been going on. We'll just go ahead and get started and we'll share with everybody how we met, what your life is like now. We met through real estate. Why don't you go ahead and share a little bit about the home that you were living in and the lifestyle you had, all the memories?
I had a house over on Greens Road. We was in an apartment at first. Me and my sister stayed in a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. We've been in an apartment for years, saving for a house. So we finally got us a down payment, saved the house. We went looking. We found this house over on Greens Road. Linda went to it first and saw it. And then she came back home and said, Jen, you got to go see this house because I like it. I got to see if you like it. I said, okay. So I went to see it. Lady was there. Her name was Darlene. Went there. She said we was telling we wanted to rent it. The option to buy. So she said, okay, that's good. So we went in there and she did all the paperwork for us. We got in the house. We started off renting. It was great. That was 5 or 6, 8 years. Then they decided they want to move to Dallas. So they want to sever all ties with Houston. So they want to sell the house. So we were scared we would have to leave. But her and her husband came to the house and they said, we want to sell the house because they're severing all their ties. But see, they said that, but they didn't say what they wanted at the end. So me and Linda thought we had to move. But she said, no, we want to sell the house. We want y'all to have it. We want to sell it to y'all. I said, oh, okay. So she said, we don't want to sell it to nobody but y'all. So we trying to make arrangements when we can meet at this real estate office. It was up there on 1960. I need you and your sister Linda. We was together. Both of us to come. And they're gonna close on the house because they want to move within a month. So they were severing all their ties. So me and Linda was well, you got to get some money together. You just been living. Them people were so awesome. They took us to the office and they didn't let us know until we got there. They paid for our closing, our inspection, and we had a stack of paper that high we had to sign. After we got through all that paper, the house was ours.
It's amazing.
It was amazing. She said yes, because we was keeping it up so well. She said we didn't have problems calling them. They fixed whatever they wanted to need to fix. And every time we had to fix something, she said, well, just fix it. Send a receipt with us with the receipt and the balance of the rent. I said, okay. So we did that for years, just worked on that. After that, they sold us the house. And the people in the office said, this had never happened. She said, they paying for your new inspection. They paid for your lawyer. They paid for your closing. They say they didn't want y'all to have any problems not getting the house. She don't even want to do another background check. I said, okay. Me and Linda just sitting there. We ain't changed nothing. It's just us. We got up from there. They had us Subway sandwiches and chips and drinks. So we was sitting because it took all afternoon. We was there all afternoon. So we ate Subway sandwiches and drank us some tea. And we finally got through with all those papers. And with all they were saying, it went through one ear out the other because we didn't hear. After 4 or 5 pages of telling us what's going on. Well, I lost it. Everything was this. Everything was that. This was this. That was that. Showed us this. Showed us that. Oh, but it was great. But after we got through, they put our copies in a little box. That was for me and Linda to take home. And they had theirs in a box. And so when we got through with them, we shook hands. Well, we didn't shake hands. We grateful. We hugging. And we didn't ever see them anymore after that day. They said they was leaving at the end of the month. They gave us a call, told us they was leaving, and they went. Oh, we know they went to Dallas.
Right. So you guys rented from the right people.
Yes.
It turned out to be a big blessing.
Yeah, that was a blessing.
And y'all then became
owners
homeowners
of the house.
When did you own the home? When did that actually start? And
that started, we rented for about 10 years. We had that house for over 30 years. So it's got to be over 20 years we had owned that house. And so we owned the house. Then Linda got sick because we was both working. Linda worked at Southwestern Bell. Then it changed to AT&T. So Linda was working, I was working. Then Linda had her first stroke and got sick. So she was off for a while. I kept working. Then she had another stroke. Then Linda's health started declining. So they forced her to retire, medical retire. So that was fine. I was working. Linda was at home. She was getting her disability. And we were just living, just working and surviving.
Yeah, and the home was paid for. You guys were good.
We just living and everything was good. And then health kept declining. Then in 1995, I was diagnosed with lupus. It didn't bother me until I didn't know what to do. I can't rush and I can't, with the aggravation, I can't be aggravated.
No stress.
No stress. No stress, no aggravation. And I can't overexert myself. I found that out the hard way. I got sick. because we was running through the airport. Didn't know I can't run around. Got sick, but fine with that. So both our health was declining. But I still worked. Linda kept working. No, Linda didn't work. So then for years, Linda was sick almost 20 years. So she was just at home. And then she got really sick. Then her son, Corey, was growing up. Corey was an entitled child. Linda spoiled him. He didn't have to do anything. So I was working and coming home, cleaning up and taking care of Linda. Corey is in his room playing.
So y'all had a 3-bedroom, 2-bath?
No, we had 4 bedrooms.
But yeah, that's right. I'm sorry. Y'all, it was 4 bedrooms, 2 baths.
So I told Linda, I said, Linda, Corey got to start contributing. If not financially, he got to start contributing to the house. Like cleaning up, doing stuff for you, doing stuff. So I was telling Linda that at first. That went through one ear and out the other. Because I come home and still, Corey, come in and clean this kitchen. Corey, do this here. I said, did Linda get you telling me you have to start doing something in the house? But Corey had a job. He worked overnight. He went in at 9, came home at 7. But he stays closed up in his room all day. And I said, and I worked at Lowe's. So when I got off at 3, house was still the same. He fixed Linda breakfast. Just a mess. He just wouldn't clean up. So me and him started fighting over household duties. And then Linda wasn't backing me up. You sure you want this drama? Okay, so Linda wasn't backing me up. So me and Corey kept fighting. Linda kept saying, Jan, I'm not putting Corey out. I said, because Corey 40 years old. He can get out of his own. If he ain't going to do nothing at the house, he might as well leave. Because if I'm going to work and come home and clean up, I don't need no 40-year-old man at the house doing nothing. So she didn't want to put him out. That's her son. I said, okay, see, we ain't never had that kind of fight. Right. We ain't never had that kind of problem. Because when she had Corey, we was together. When she was in the apartment, she got pregnant. So that's the reason we wanted the house. Because Corey was a little boy growing up. She wanted Corey to have a backyard. So we got us a house. So me and Corey, I was working, coming home, taking care of Linda, cleaning up, washing breakfast dishes. And I really got fed up because Linda wasn't helping me. She couldn't do anything. She was just there. She couldn't help me. And I could understand it. She was paralyzed on one side. And then she got her strength back. But then Linda just started giving up. She just wouldn't try to help. She wouldn't even try to do for herself. So I had my sister in a wheelchair all day. Wouldn't do nothing. You had to do everything for her. So I'm coming home doing her, cleaning her up. Because Corey back in his room. If Linda ain't telling him to do it, he ain't doing it. So I said, Linda, did you even have your medicine this morning? Yeah, he can't get my medicine. I said, okay. I see you ate breakfast. Are you hungry now? Yeah, I can eat a sandwich. I said, okay, it's 3 o'clock. Corey fed her at 8. He don't even think to come in there and check and see if she needs something to eat. To go change a diaper. He just leave her. We started fighting over that. Linda started backing him up. I said, Linda, this gotta give. I'm at work. I'm stressing. I'm getting sick, but I don't want to go home. Tired, don't want to go home fight. So I went join LA Fitness. Yeah, you should have saw me when I joined LA Fitness. I was so mad. I was there every night, every evening. I lost all this weight. I was looking sexy. I was going there getting in the pool every day. Because I said, you do anything not to go home. I say, Darren, I'm working. I go there and get in the pool. I didn't get home to 5 o'clock. Feed Linda, get her ready for bed. I go to bed. I took my shower at the gym. So I get in there and go to bed. I ate a bowl of cereal. That was my dinner. But I lost all my weight. I lost all my weight. And so Linda said, Jen, you losing weight. I said, yeah, I'm working out. I got through with all that. Then me and Corey had the biggest fight. I mean, he stopped being respectful. He hollering back. I'm hollering at him. So I said, well, I'm going to knock you out. And Corey's taller than me. So he got all up in my face, so I bolted him in the stomach. And he went back. I said, I wish you would raise your hand. So I knew it was time for me to go.
Right, that was the last
I was ready
straw.
to fight him, just like a man. So I told him, I said, I got to go. I said, you want this grown man in this house and you ain't trying to make him do anything? I hope he take care of you because I got to go. So I'm at work, and I had some friends that stayed over here. She said, Jan, they got some apartments over here. I said, girl, I don't know if I should leave Linda. It took me 6 months to make my mind up.
Yeah, I bet it was
So
hard.
I said, I got to do something because I was hating going home. So then I started hating on Linda because she wouldn't back me up. I'm started fighting with Corey over to clean up the house. I said, this don't make no sense, Linda. This boy over 40. And you got to still tell him to clean up? So I got tired. So I can't put my name on the list over here. She said, we only taking people on the list. I said, okay. So I put my name on the list, my number. They called me June 2019. I said, okay, I'm going to come. She said, you going to be able to move in? Yes, put me down. So I moved over here July the 1st. So when I moved over here, I came home and I told them, I said, Linda, I'm moving. I got me an apartment. I can't keep fighting with you.
Right.
Can't keep fighting with Linda, me and with Corey. I got to go. So I left. I said, you sure? She said, yeah, Corey got me. I said, Linda, Corey is not going to take care of you. He ain't been taking care of you while I'm here. What makes you think he going to take care of you and I'm gone? Jan, he going to take care of me. He going to take care of this. I said, okay. So I left 2019. 2021, Linda died. I said, okay. Corey ain't been more take care of Linda. Corey was still doing what he do. And so Linda Fiscaler came out. And that's how she died. She bled to death. Because at first when she died, when the cops came, they thought Corey did it because his hands were so full of blood. Because he was trying to hold the blood. Now he was sorry. He was lazy. But he didn't kill his mama. So I didn't think that. He just was a sorry guy. So Linda died. We took care of that. Then I was still out the house. I didn't go back. So I went over there 3 weeks later. I said, Corey, what you want to do? Because Corey ain't going to take care of this house. I said, Corey, what you want to do? No, my mama gave me half this house. I'm going to stay here. I said, Corey, we can sell this house. You go get you an apartment. But didn't know what Linda gave him wasn't legal till we talked to you. I wanted to sell it back in 2021. And the realtor lady came over there. She said, well, Corey's will says that he's half older. I say, so I can't sell it unless he wants to sell it. She said, yeah. I said, okay. I said, Corey, so you got this house. You don't have no rent, but you got to pay the taxes. I'm not going to stay over here and work and live here and then try to pay the house over there when we could just sell it. No, he want the house. I said, okay, you're going to have the house with all the responsibility. Because all you have to pay is taxes and HOA. You don't have a house note.
Utilities.
Utilities, light and gas.
Yeah.
That's common sense, but didn't look like it because he didn't pay HOA. So Corey just living over there free. Wasn't paying nothing. Wasn't paying taxes. Wasn't paying HOA. Just living. And then didn't find out it was in a foreclosure. How did I find out? Oh, somebody called me. Somebody said they want to buy my house. I said, well, I ain't selling it right now, but I want to sell it. But he said, well, if you don't sell it, it's going to be foreclosed. I said, what you mean? So he gave me a date where it's supposed to be foreclosed. So I called Corey. I said, Corey, did you get any kind of papers saying this house being foreclosed? I don't know. No. I went to the front door and it was on the door. That's how trifling he is. I said, it's on the door and you didn't notice? I said, Corey, this house is in foreclosure. I said, so either you don't want to sell it or not, we got to sell it. Because if it go in foreclosure, we losing it. I said, we got to find us a realtor and I don't want that same lady. So he told me about you. He said, well, I know Juanita has a friend that's a realtor. So I didn't trust that. I said, Juanita has a friend that's a realtor. And it's your friend. I wasn't trusting you. I said, okay, I don't know about that. I said, okay, because we need somebody. We need somebody to work fast. So when you called me, I told you my skepticism.
Right.
I kept saying, I said, yeah, I don't know. I'm going to use you under protest. Because
yes.
I think Corey's up to something. I wasn't trusting Corey. But then I started talking to you. Went to the office and talked to you and your partner. Y'all made me feel so home and so welcome. And me, I don't know what it is, because like me and you just clicked right away. You brought all my nervousness and my attention to ease just by talking to you. And so we just started talking. You was telling me what you would have to do. I said, okay. And we started working together.
Right.
And you did the extension on the foreclosure so we could sell it. You was trying to find somebody to buy real fast. You was working. You did it. I was so proud of that. I said, because you saved us some money because we could have lost all of it.
Alita reached out to me because, she was friends with
I thought it was Juanita.
Yeah.
Her sister, Juanita's sister.
It was Alita. Yeah. Well, I've met everybody now, but yeah, she reached out to me on behalf of Jaclyn, and I spoke with Jaclyn. I went over there and I looked at the property and I saw that he was willing to give me some information. And I went online and I realized, okay, well, he's not the actual owner listed online. Yes. And he kind of explained that his mom passed away and we went through did y'all go to probate, the will thing. Luckily on Linda's behalf, she had an heirship affidavit in place, which would have allowed you to sell really quickly under unfortunate circumstances. But since you really hadn't visited the property, only occasionally, you weren't really aware of the condition either. No. So a pipe had burst during the freeze and was never remediated. And you saw pictures and everything and went over, and it was just, unfortunately, me, like, not only was it a sell fast due to a foreclosure situation, but can I share the amount of how much the HOA was charging you?
Oh, I don't mind.
So they were charging only $15,000 and the home was paid off. So you were under a foreclosure for $15,000 and it was just fees that he didn't pay over the years. I guess at some point he was trying to work with a lawyer unbeknownst to you. So when I got a hold of you, there were 7 days left for that foreclosure date. Luckily, you were willing to work with me. We got everything signed.
You did it. You stretched cables an extension.
Yeah.
You saved us just from losing everything. No, I give you all the praise and God first, but I give you all the praise.
Thank you.
Because you did that. And I admire you. I respect the fact that you worked with it. Even the little time you had to work fast at it. And I don't have no complaints. It was great because we found you and you did it. I mean, because you got us the extension, because we passed the extension, we didn't lose it. You got a buyer. To buy it to investor or not a buyer.
An investor, yeah.
You got an investor to invest in the house. They paid it. We came to closing, done the closing. Everything was just like clockwork. Yeah. And that's all you're doing. And that was so great. That was awesome.
Well, I
really appreciate it. I mean, because I know you're a businesswoman. You didn't just stand on business. You had compassion in your work. You cared about us. I mean, you could have just worried about your bottom line and we were just another number. I didn't get treated like a number. I didn't get belittled because the house was in foreclosure. You never put any kind of judgment on us. You just did what you had to do and told us what we explained it to us step by step what you was doing. And you treated us with some dignity. You can't find too many people do that. They looking at their bottom line, see what kind of percentage they can get, hurry up and get you done. You didn't do all that rushing. You didn't do that quick thinking money. You did that with some compassion. You did that with caring. And you took care of us and you didn't even know you was taking care of us. You was doing your job, true enough, but you did it with so much compassion.
Thank you.
You cared. And it showed. It wasn't just, I did with business people. You don't find many people that care. They just taking care of business. You did it with so much compassion. No problems at all. You and your partner was awesome. You saved us some money. You did an awesome job.